Hello, Scorpios. It's Blue Moon Oracle, and I'm here to do your full moon reading on the last night of my full moon series. So we're doing a reading next for Scorpio, Sun, Rising, Moon, and North Node. Full moon reading for Scorpio. So before we get started on the actual full moon reading, I wanted to talk about last reading we did, which is the new moon reading for Scorpio. So some things came up for Scorpio and I thought it was worthwhile bringing it up. So let me look back at my notes. So the message from Spirit for Scorpio for the new moon was that the fog was lifting. There were some stomach issues going on, and there was a real big focus from Spirit on focusing on solar plexus work. For some, it was to go to a doctor. So I hope that you've done that. I'll see if the cards will show us. For others, but overall, even for those who need to go to the doctor, solar plexus work was really big. It was a lot of talk about taking our power back, and we talked how to energetically do that. I mentioned in that video as well that I am an energy healer, an intuitive energy healer. So we talked about taking our power back from people we've given it to, energetically saying out loud, I'm taking my power back from X, Y, and Z. Talked about doing that and literally taking that energy back and putting it back into our solar plexus. We talked about getting out of our head. It came up as we got a reverse Knight of Swords, and then remembering that we are the King of Cups, Scorpio. So coming back out of our head and getting back into our heart. For our Scorpios that are workers in the metaphysical world, so healers, shamans, tarot readers, there was a message from a spirit that there was some deep thymus chakra issues that needed to be dealt with. The message was that, it had been kind of put off long enough, and that they were with you. That their guides and ancestors were with you. We're going to walk through it. It was suggested to get a piece of moldavite to help bring some of that up. For others, it was time to deal with some ancestral trauma that was needing to come out as well, and past life stuff. And then the angel number that was given, and I believe this is still, I had said then it was, through the first 2 weeks, but through my meditation, I'm feeling these numbers carried the vibration still through the month, was 1184. And you can look up angel number 1184. I've been looking at the numbers, kind of breaking it down into the overall vibration of the number 5. And that number is still standing for Scorpio. So the number 5 is the number of freedom. That was a number that we talked about in the new moon reading 2 weeks ago. Freedom and change. So two things come to mind for me as like the Hierophant card or temperance and balance. So with the temporary vibration meaning this is just through the remainder of the moon cycle. It's about 5 is about sex, communication, travel, and if not physically, then definitely mental. The vibration is really heavy with this number, so there could be the potential for some like scattered energy, so it's important to really channel it. This is a time though for single Scorpios that you may have some really short and intense kind of relationships happening. It is a time of mental growth and development. Okay, so this can go 2 ways here. This can be a time of like on the physical plane of resistance or some mental growth, okay, in this vibration of 5. It's a really good time if you are a business owner, Scorpio, to promote your business or your product. You're going to be really affluent despite the Mercury in retrograde, but don't sign any contracts or anything like that, okay? It's possible in this dating that's going on, you could potentially actually meet the one that could lead to marriage, okay? The energy of 5 can lead to some potential for indulgence on the physical plane if you're not channeling your mental energies that come with this vibration, Scorpio. So just kind of be aware of that. You may feel there may be some desire to change things. 5 is about change. And this may come from the outside. So someone around you may kind of bring on the change, whether it's a residence, job, relationship change, those kinds of things. But it's going to be, there's definitely could be some change in those areas, whether you initiate it or they do. Now, taking into consideration that Mercury is in retrograde, this is really actually a good time because it came into retrograde in Aquarius, and it's an excellent time for learning. So that's a good way for you to channel that extra mental energy that you have, is to do some learning. Again, using the self-control, so that we don't do that overindulgence on the physical plane with this vibration of 5. I'm also kind of, like I mentioned before, getting the Hierophant. That's about the inner teacher, the inner intuition, learning. And so again, with this Mercury in retrograde in Aquarius, it's a good time to take up some type of study or to get more into whatever it is that you have found some interest in lately. Let's see. Also comes to mind is temperance. I mean, the number is 14, but that does bring us the vibration of, 5 overall. So some balance, some moderation that kind of goes with that whole energy there. In your reading for the new moon intentions, what I found really ironic is that the full moon in Aquarius came up. I mean, the full moon is, I'm sorry, not the full moon in Aquarius, the full moon in Leo card came up 2 weeks ago. And I don't know how I didn't think about the fact that this was the full moon in Leo. I mean, it's in Virgo right now in this full phase, okay? But, I just feel like that means there's some significance about what's going on in your life over the last couple of days. So there's some massive significance there, and pay attention to it. There's some lessons here, some things that you really need to learn and absorb from this situation. And I'm getting again, the same pains I was getting last time in the solar plexus area, in the stomach area. So I feel like some of you maybe you weren't watching me then, so you didn't know that I was really encouraging dealing with some stomach issues. Somebody had some gallbladder issues, and we did a little bit of healing there. But yeah, this full moon in Leo is a significant time for some of you, like a really significant time. Pay attention to the synchronicities that are going on. Pay attention to the intuitive breadcrumbs that have happened over the last few days, and then going into the rest of this lunar cycle. This is a big time for some of you. And this number 5, again, sometimes we have issue with 5. We take issue with 5 because it does mean change. But think about the structure of a 5. A 5 does rock back and forth, and it can give the impression of being unsteady, like it's going to, knock over at any point, but it doesn't. It does rock back and forth, but when something's rocking back and forth like that, it eventually settles, okay? So whatever change is coming into your life at this point, or it's coming, it seems like it's coming in your life, but really you set the vibration out for this change whenever. It's going to bring with it a sense of freedom. Channel those energies wisely, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards and find out what it is you've been manifesting. And then we're going to look at what aspect of shadow is going to be coming up. We go into the disseminating moon phase tomorrow. During that phase, it's very common for self-limiting beliefs to surface, for energies to work against what we're trying to do. Let's get ahead of that. Let's find out what we need to release so that we can bring in what it is we set out to attract at the new moon intentions. The power of the waning moon is excellent to help us do that. And then we're going to find out what energies are coming in to assist as well. And then draw cards to find out, do we need to adjust our intentions for the rest of the lunar cycle? And then also, what magic are we creating through all this work? What is the end result going to be for this lunar cycle for Scorpios? Okay, so let's take a minute to take a deep breath and kind of just connect. You can take this time to invite whomever it is that you would like to invite to this situation. So what I'm doing is I'm inviting the Archangel Gabriel to join us. He is the angel of communication, angel of messenger of God is what his name means. But with Mercury in retrograde, and Mercury rules communication, I thought it's wise to just bring him in, although I normally do anyway, just to make sure that the messages get communicated. I've invited Archangel Uriel. He's the messenger of, the angel of prophecy and psychics, of aha moments, wisdom. And I ask him to bring that to all of us as we're doing this work. Shadow work is about breaking through cognitive dissonance. Shadow work is about transcending karmic debt, transcending and breaking patterns in our life that are self-destructive. So we need him here with us. And for that reason, I've also invited Archangel Metatron, who rules over the Akashic records, so that we can break these patterns in our life overall and clear out you know, that karmic debt, and set ourselves free from that, learning past out this stuff, okay? And then I've invited in your ancestors, your guides, my ancestors, my guides, and then, you know, the deities I work with, who you work with, all here to join us to make this space a sacred space for the work that we're about to do. It's all energy. You and I are connected, even though we can't see each other. We're connected. We, you know, face to face, we can't see each other. So with me, take a deep breath. All right, and let's just exhale and see what the cards have to say, Scorpio. Okay. All right, all right, all right. What deck am I going to use? I'm feeling some really good energy coming in. Y'all have been kind of rough. I specifically remember 2 readings ago, the stuff that you had going on, and last reading. So there was a lot of stuff going on. But I feel like we're going to use the, I'm going to use, let's see. I'm going to take an oracle card for you. I'm just going to go with an oracle card to get started. I haven't done this for everybody, but I'm going to use an oracle card from my Starseed Oracle and see just overall what the message is from the universe to you. Nothing to do with intentions, nothing to do with the full moon, just a message for Scorpios from the universe, from the angels, from your things. I'm using my Starseed Oracle deck, okay? And I am going to read it from the book because that's way too many. So there's a lot of messages. I'm not doing that. We'll be here for 2 hours doing that. So just 1 or 2 cards would be fine, okay? All right, what message do we have from the universe for Scorpios for the rest of this lunar cycle? What message do we have? Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, excuse me for a second. All right, so we got 2 cards, the Void and Called. So the Void, stop, embrace winter, the great cosmic womb. I mean, that's just like a void here. And then we've got Called, soul gifts and training, it's time to step up. I mean, and that was the message that Spirit gave a lot of y'all at the last reading. I feel like I'm going to read from the book to see what these authors have to say. Like there's just, you know, I feel like very, very strongly, this connection from whatever's here to some of y'all for you. Okay, so hold on a second. The void. And I don't know where my glasses are, so it's a miracle I can see this. I have been in the cosmic womb. This is, okay. So, everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb. The fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting. It can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you. Regardless of whether you know what they will one day become, you are being called, Scorpio, to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest and to allow the winter of your life to do the work for you, to hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life is being knitted for us. Right beneath the surface, in ways known and unknowable, now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase, when we are called to let go of all that we know and identify with. When you're in the void, Scorpio, it can feel scary, and as if you should be doing something. However, when this card appears, it is a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery in your life. And the starseed inquiry that goes with this is, how are you being called to surrender to the unknown mystery of life? And then the second card we got is Called from the Starseed Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell and artwork by Danielle Noel. Called. That was pretty, that was a lovely card. I just got this deck. I love it. Soul Gifts. So this is called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. You came to Earth with a double mission, to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust what is that your soul is calling you toward. It is encoded within the most direct path forward. Your soul has many unique gifts, Scorpio, and it came here to share. Some of you may already be aware of it. Others you're just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gifts. If you're being called toward a creative project, a passion, or an adventure, this card is your confirmation that you are facing the right way and that this moment right here is destined. If you're feeling underprepared or thinking, who am I to do that? This card is guiding you to step up and leap, and to consider perhaps that your soul has been training for this moment right here for lifetimes, Scorpio. And then it says it's a starseed activation. Place this card in the portal of your heart. I can do this for you. And whisper the following. I call forth the soul gifts and soul training that I've received throughout all of my lifetimes. I am ready to embody them all now without hesitation or fear. I fully commit to being here now, and I am ready to step into my soul's highest and most potent calling. I've been training for this for lifetimes. And I'll put this in the Facebook comments afterwards so that you can do that yourself if you would like to do that afterwards. So we've got called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up for some of you, Scorpio. And then the void, stop and embrace the winter, the great cosmic womb, surrendering to what's going on. So those are some great cards. Message from Spirit. Thank you for letting me share that with you. Okay, so let's find out, Scorpio, what you guys have been manifesting since the new moon. What has Scorpio been manifesting? What has Scorpio been manifesting? That didn't come out. Okay. And what aspect of the shadow is going to be rising up for Scorpio? Oh my God. You have to give me a second. That literally went super far. That's a lot of cards. That's 5 cards. I'm going to keep them. Maybe there's people on all different levels. That's 5 friggin' cards. I don't believe that all of those shadows are rising up for one person. I mean, but who knows? Maybe they are. Okay. What needs releasing during this disseminating moon phase that's coming up for Scorpio? What needs releasing? God, it's just so crazy how much, is going on collectively across all the signs the same. And so it's just amazing to me. Okay, what needs releasing? What energies coming into play to assist? To assist or as an obstacle? All right, you got it upright, so that's assisting, and that's exciting. Okay, and then what new intentions do we need to set or add? What do the intentions look like to continue on the work that we began at the new moon? New intentions or intentions we need to add. Oh, I'm gonna leave that upside down. Okay, and then I don't know how I've collected so much crap over here. It's like piling up on this little tiny desk. Okay, and then what's the end result for Scorpio? What is the magic that is going to be created through all of this hard work and dealing with all of these things as they're coming to the surface? What is the magic? Super, super amazing. Wait, that was reversed. Okay, give me just a sec. I'm using the Muse Tarot to get us kicked off. I'm going to keep the book out because sometimes I like to pull the book out. It's got some pretty poetic stuff in there. Okay. All right, so what have you all been manifesting? What is coming to the surface? That's 5 fucking cards. Okay, Page of Voices. I have to look at them all at once, okay? Just to kind of see overall big picture what's going on. I did ask the cards. I didn't meant to do that. I was, in my time of meditation beforehand, some different energies that came up were Empress reverse, Tower, and High Priestess. And I mean, overall, I see some of you have been doing a lot of work. You've been doing work, Scorpio. And I remember the readings before, the last 2 readings, when I did my very first full moon reading that I ever done, and then I did the new moon reading. A lot of stuff has been coming up. But I see, that's why I chose to use this deck. I felt like we needed some positivity, some light to come into play here. So what have you been manifesting? We've got the 8 of Materials, the Muse of Emotion. So a little background on this deck. This is a non-binary or feminine, female deck. So there's no masculine energy in the deck. So the kings are known as muses. So it's the master of the suit. And then materials are pentacles, emotions are cups, and I'll probably go back and forth using both. And then swords are voices, and I'm forgetting one of them. Inspiration is wands. Okay, so anyway, we got the 8 of Pentacles, Muse of Cups, and Knight of Voices. Knight of Swords. I mean, definitely, I mean, that's you. This is you. This is Scorpion energy. This Muse of Cups. That's Scorpion energy. This is King of Cups. Okay, in the tarot. So that's super authentic to show up in you. And you did this last time too. You showed up in the new moon reading as well. As a new moon in Scorpio when I use the Numerology deck. This is being authentic, and we talked about that. Being authentically you, speaking your truth, being yourself, being authentic. And so the work that you're doing is you being you at your best. At your best. Walking in your truth, walking in your own authority, confidently, kindly, authentically, with compassion, in your gifting, your intuition, with your, you know, some of you have gifts. You have the gifts. You're healers. You are, and you don't have to be metaphysical healers. You could literally just be, you know, a counselor. You could be a doctor, but also some of you are actual healers, energy healers, light workers. You are tarot readers. You are shamans. And whatever other names we call ourselves, these buzzwords that are out there. But you are authentically being yourself. You've done a lot of work, and you're being yourself. And this color, this teal, came up a lot in the new moon reading, and we talked about healing the thymus chakra, and that's where a lot of trauma is stored. Trauma from you, from this lifetime, but also past life trauma is stored here too. And there was a message from Spirit about dealing with actually both. And the same color is here in this card, and I don't believe in any coincidences. My cards know how I read cards, and so that's how they present. This is the flow of emotions. I mean, this is authentically being you, balanced, whole, healed. This is good stuff. Then we've got the Knight of Swords, and then the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is, that's a good thing. You're focusing on what's going on at home and at work, and you are picking up new skills. And I feel like these are new skills to, like, dealing with those root issues, or root chakra issues, like safety and security, and learning how to deal with, for some of you, it's learning how to live in this, like, meet your own needs. So getting these new skills to heal those deep issues. Okay. And, you know, the thymus chakra is attached to the lymphatic system, and then the psoas muscles comes around here, and that's root chakra. So, I mean, it's all, you know, it's fucking all connected. But my point is like, I feel like some of you are really focusing on going back to the basics. 8 of Pentacles is about apprenticeship and learning new skills or a new trade and becoming good at it, like really zeroing in and focusing in on it and becoming good at it. A lot of times it has to do with a new job. So some of you are doing a new job or preparing to learn a new job. Some of you are picking up studies and other stuff like that. We talked about that as a possibility. But I feel like for a lot of you, there is this focus on learning how to live a new life because you've crossed that threshold in healing to a place that you've never been before. Like that card talked about, that cult. You know, stepping, or the void. Was it the void? One of them talked about stepping into the unknown. And so when we step into the unknown, we have to learn a new way to do things, a new way to behave, a new way to act. And that has to do with, like, at the fundamentals of, you know, the basis of who we are as a person. This is like tending to the garden. at home too as well. And then we have the Knight of Voices. Lots of ideas have been coming in, and there's been a lot of action, and this is not uncommon. And this guy showed up too. The Knight of Swords showed up as being in, actually the way that it came up, but this is a little different. Well, the way that you all showed up last reading was what the message from Spirit was, like poker face that came up, because you got it in reverse in the shadow deck. It was about being inauthentic, but you're showing up authentic here as this King of Swords. I mean, this King of Cups. Muse of Cups. Anyway, the message that had come from Spirit was like, you were getting the Knight of Swords in reverse. Like, okay, you're in your head. This is about coming out of your head and getting into your heart. And the message that we got from Spirit before we even did the reading last new moon was, some of you have a poker face and you are denying the pain that's in the heart, and you are not being authentically you. You are being the Knight of Swords when you really are the King of Cups. And that's exactly what showed up here. So some of you, are still manifesting as the Knight of Cups, but at least you're not upside down. Upside down Knight of Cups not Knight of Cups, I'm sorry, Knight of Swords. You're manifesting as a Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is what showed up. If I said Knight of Cups 10 times, I was actually thinking Knight of Swords in my head. That's what I meant to say. I'm blaming Mercury in retrograde. It's really literally its fault. So this Knight of Swords you've got upright this time. So at least we've turned this Knight of Swords around, because the Knight of Swords has lots of ideas and takes action on those ideas and moves forward on those ideas. And, the swords do rule the heart chakra. And that is important. We were talking about getting out of the head and into the heart at the new moon. And upside down, there's a lot of haste and impulsiveness and just not really thinking things through. We've turned this around. So we're making progress. So really good job. And again, we did a lot of talk about solar plexus work. We did some energy healing, and we talked about taking our power back. And I taught you all how to energetically take your power back from other people, because solar plexus came up with a lot of stomach problems for you, a lot of stomach issues, a lot of issues with sense of self. And this is yellow. So you've been doing that work in whatever way that you have done it, whether it's been actually literally working on your solar plexus, whether it's been just standing up for yourself, because you may not be doing this work with me or doing this work at all. You've been building up your self-confidence and your sense of self. And that's evident in these cards. So good job. And I don't even need to get any clarity on that. I'm fully feel good about that one. So what aspect of the shadow is coming up, Scorpio, to deal with? I feel your stomach pains. I'm an intuitive healer, and I do not, and I'm guarded. I have so much crystals on my body. I don't even know. The only way that I could think, I know what it is. I'm wearing this damn angel light. And sometimes the angels, like, you don't have my permission to tune me into somebody, but I'm feeling stomach pain. And the pain is here. Well, it's not really stomach pain. I guess it's underneath the rib cage. But then again, I'm kind of crushed down. So I guess it is, I don't know what organ's there. Right under the rib cage on my right side. But it could be mirroring whomever you are that way. But it's also tied to the back. I don't know what organ's there. I need to learn more about the organs. Okay, so anyway, what aspect? See a doctor, please. Please see a doctor. I mentioned this about 10 times, the last one. Please see a doctor. They're healers too. Our physical body needs healing. Our psychological body needs healing. Our energetic centers and the chakras need healing. And our auric fields need healing. They all need healing from healers, and everybody has a specialty, and it's all needed for us to heal. All of it is. Any energy healer that says you don't need those other things, they don't know what they're doing, or they're a con artist. And I'll say it to their face, I don't have a problem saying that. So psychologists, psychiatrists, medical doctors, pain doctors are part of the healing community too. Okay? And they are needed. They are needed. But so are shamans, and so are energy healers, and the like. We are also needed, because there's stuff that has to go on to completely heal that those other healers don't know about either. So our work works together to truly heal the entire self. Okay? Just really need to say that. Okay, so what aspects of the shadows are coming up? Page of Inspiration, Page of Wands reversed. Knight of Cups reversed. So that's a water sign card. Page of Swords upright. The High Priestess came up. She come up reversed when I turned her around. She came up, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna put her sideways. The High Priestess. You know what? Let's just leave the High Priestess upright. And then the Two of Pentacles. What aspects of shadow? Because shadow can actually keep, the shadow doesn't necessarily have to be like traits of us that act out in negative ways. Parts of the shadow can be hidden talents and hidden skills. So one of the things that I realized doing my shadow work is I had shut down my third eye a long time ago from abuse. And also the fact that I'm an artist and I am creative got shut down through a lot of criticism and criticism and abuse. It's like I stopped painting. I stopped creating in art in that way because it was so criticized that I forgot that I liked doing it until recently. You know what I mean? So like it can be hidden talents as well. So aspects of the personality of the shadow that are going to come to the surface. For some of you, it's going to be some intuiting abilities that you've had, some psychic abilities, and I definitely get that from the High Priestess, and this High Priestess specifically too, in this deck. She's got the alchemy symbols around her. She's got the crescent moon, and the waxing crescent moon is about growing in energy there. She's got stuff radiating out of her third eye in this particular deck. And on this deck, the veil that's behind her on the traditional Rider-Waite deck that's closed, this veil is open and the curtains are pushed to the side. So I feel for some of you, your psychic abilities, your intuiting ability, it's called intuitive, your intuitive abilities have been repressed, and that's going to come up. The issues around that are going to come up with the third eye. And I feel like that's probably already happening. The moon energy is probably starting to do that for some of you too. And she's got one eye partially blocked here. So there's some issues. Some of you, that's already begun happening and it's there, but you're kind of struggling. And there's some some blockage still because there's some healing that's needed in the third chakra. But there's some things that you're not wanting to look at. Okay? There's some things that you're not wanting to look at. So the High Priestess is the subconscious. She's between the conscious mind and then the super subconscious up here with the divine. She's that intermediate person there, okay? So for some of you, I don't want to see all of what's going on. So I also feel this means like the veil is going to come, like the truth, there's going to, some of the truth that we have been avoiding looking at is going to come up. And I feel like this is going to be around some issues with the feminine in our life. So some influential women in our life. So typically it is a mother, a grandmother, or an aunt, or older cousin who raised you, or was very influential in your life. It could have been a female minister. Somebody who was influential in your life. There's some issues there. So I also feel in addition to this, with this High Priestess, that there's some issues surrounding what it means to be female for those who are women. Well, just what it means to be female. Toxic femininity. Okay, not toxic femininity. Not that word. Help me say this. Okay, only way I can think to say this is just giving my own personal example. So, I mean, I'm a direct person. I am, I have no problem sitting in front of a camera or speaking in front of a group of people. But a long time ago, I was shamed for that. And I was told that it wasn't feminine to speak up. It wasn't feminine to to be confident. But what's the word that they use for women who are confident? They'll say aggressive. If you're in a business meeting and, a man interrupts, hey, don't, let's not go down that road because X, Y, and Z happened last week and we've already moved that way. People are grateful. But when a woman does it regularly, you know what I'm saying? So issues around femininity. So like I had a lot of shame around being a woman. it had been put in me through society that women were weak, you know, and that men were strong. So if a woman showed any strength, it was being aggressive. My only other option was to be passive. So there's some issues there around what true femininity is and what true feminine power. So some issues about that, some negative feelings. I also feel like there's going to be some, this is a major arcana card. That's why I'm spending so much time on this. So this is an archetypal theme in your lives. This is karmic expression. This is a glimpse into the subconscious. Just the fact that it's a major arcana card, outside of the fact that it's the high priestess. Okay. So, outside of that too, also she's passive. She doesn't take any action. So there's a part of you that may come up that has a tendency to be, I don't know, I'm going to go with depression, or what, I don't want to say that's inactive. I don't know, for me, it would show up as depression, where I would retreat and not be able to follow through on things. Just get overwhelmed and I would go get in bed. The answer is going to be in this moon. This is a Piscean card as well too. So a Pisces could be coming into your life as well, but this is an aspect of the shadow self. So, I mean, a Pisces could have had something to do with this issue here as well. And I feel like for somebody, there actually is a religious connection to this. But, you know, actually my issues around femininity really came from religion and what I was told was the role of a woman and why that was her role. And it's really, you know, and it caused a lot of issues. Now that I'm stepping into my divine feminine power, I'm like, oh, no wonder why they told me this. They wanted to keep that from me, that empowerment. So yeah, issues around femininity, what it means to be female, what it means to have the feminine side to men, you know, what it means to be nurturing, you know. So what is your perception about that? Also issues that relate to a mom or a grandmother, somebody who raised you. And that is also has to do with this Knight of Emotions in reverse. This is some issues with romance. So somebody who, I mean, a charmer, a player, I don't know. Is that word even around still? A player? I don't even know. But somebody who is like in love with being in love, but in a sense of like, okay, in the 21st century dating world, I mean, I'm swiping right all the time. I'm making connections. I mean, the chat, you know, the conversation's good and we hit it off. And, you know, maybe we go on a date, maybe we just talk a few times and there's that connection and then bam, I disappear on the person. I mean, that would be 21st century, you know, I'm ghosting people, but I'm really like that beginning phase where we make that connection and we have that, you know, emotional kind of high. So there's some of that kind of behavior pattern. There's the, you know, a Casanova type situation going on there. This is also somebody's overly analytical, overly critical, an aspect of us that's overly analytical, overly critical, overly judgmental. That's something that that's going to be coming to the surface for some of other people. I mean, but also the way shadow work works is if you want to identify your shadow, go see what you think about other people, because that's really actually part of you, like what you don't like about other people. So this part of us, because the Knight of Cups is a Cancer, well, this is a summer card, so never mind, this isn't a Scorpio card, but it's a summer card. So think of, I don't know, think of what and I'm saying this because I'm a Cancer, but think of what a Cancer is like when they're not nice, when we're not nice, when you've really hurt us. Okay, so like, you know, cold and withdrawn and critical of other people. So that's an aspect that's coming up of the shadow self. And then we've got the Page of Inspiration in reverse, the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands. Okay, the Page of Wands is an is immaturity. So, I mean, in the real sense, it could be a child, but this is an aspect of our shadow coming up. So this would be a child. This would be childish type of behavior. Childish, like young. So our inner child. And then with it being Inspiration and Wands, I'll let you see the picture here. That's action, that's fire. Again, we're with the solar plexus, sense of self. This is stuff to do with when your sense of self was being developed and your self-will and self-determination. The Page of Wands is somebody who, you know, is So when we're talking about pages, they're super curious, they're inquisitive, they are, you know, driven. This is in reverse, but they are also young. When it's a facet of our personality. They're new to something typically, but in this aspect, it's related to the shadow. So this is going to be somebody very young, like a child, you know, 10, 11, 12, even younger it could be. And with the fire, think about like a fiery temper, you know what I mean? Just impulsive and kind of temper tantrum type-ish stuff. And I don't mean that in like, yeah, I mean it like that. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, so some old reactions could be coming up that have to do with anger and passion and frustration that are from the inner child. So like that, you know, and I know, like the way that I'm going to say, you know, I don't necessarily react the way at home, the way I do out in public when that side of me comes out. I'm a Cancer Leo, so sometimes this shit comes out, and I've been doing shadow work and I'm healing my inner child. I mean, these colors tell me that the way this, and that, oh, there's also a black cat in here too. So this is the shadow aspect. There's let me turn this card upside down. There's that black cat in there. So this has to do with the shadow, the inner child. And that's typically where our shadow is created, is in childhood. So some inner child anger stuff's going to be coming up. And then we've got these last two cards, the Two of Materials and the Page of Swords of Voices. And these came upright. So the ability to balance things, I think, is going to come. Your ability to kind of balance this. Some of you are going to have this. You're going to be able to, you know, that's an aspect that when the heat gets turned up, you know, there's a part of you that's able to come out and go, okay, whoa, you know what I mean? When the shit really hits the fan, some of you may struggle to balance, but we have this part, the survivor in you, I feel like has kind of come up as well to help balance things out. And this Page of Swords is somebody who asks a lot of questions. Why? And this is good. This is actually part of some of the internal meditative work that I do in the Buddhist principle of detachment. So like when I have a feeling come up, you know, I'll say now, instead of like taking I take a PRN when I eventually need one, but instead of taking one like right away, I let the feeling come up. I deal with it, fear, terror, anxiety, whatever it is. Why am I feeling this way? And then I believe that, and I get quiet. I go somewhere quiet where I can be alone. Why am I feeling this way? And my mind will respond, and I take that answer. Okay, why? And then I take that answer. Okay, but why? And I keep asking why. And then I get to a place where I uncover what it is, and emotions come out. And this is a good part of the shadow to allow to come up. With this being swords, this is about questioning the thoughts that are in there and asking those questions. I mean, look at this picture here. Her eyes are big, those glasses, you know, she's looking clearly at her thoughts, you know, and all of the different thoughts that are going around. That's a good aspect of this is somebody that is going to come to the surface. And this is that part, that balancing, the person who tries to balance things. But I also think this is a part of the shadow that this is a survival mechanism that I think might try to distract. It's Pentacles is about the fundamentals, like, you know, making sure the bills are getting paid, things are done around the house, you know, work and play. That came up in a number for you all with your vibration being 5 is, you know, the vibration of 5 for the moon cycle for you is, you know, there are two paths here: overindulgence on the physical plane, or, you know, really mental growth on the plane up here. That's what swords are, up here. So I feel like there might be the temptation through the survival mechanism to shift the focus away from the shadow and zeroing in on, I don't know, a responsible overindulgence, such as, okay, I need to go clean my closet out, or I need to go, you know, doing something that in appearance would be responsible. You know what I mean? But really isn't necessary to do. And it's a survival instinct to avoid dealing with the pain of swords the pain that comes with swords. But keep in mind, you know, if the Page of Swords is, the Page of Swords is coming up, you've completed the swords journey, you've completed the pain, the massive big pain. Now what we're dealing with is just kind of getting some of that garbage out. So we've got some, and I'm not saying this is all coming up for one person. And it might be, if you're really doing a dark night of the soul and you're really doing the fucking work, it might all be coming up. It might be, especially if you went and bought some Moldavite and you're wearing Moldavite. That shit's going to bring that crap right out. But you've got assistance coming up with stuff, but you got, you know, and that's good. That's good. Good stuff. Okay. That was a lot of cards come out, but it was obviously needed. And I want to make sure that the messages come and that you're getting what you need. And I don't really care how long these readings take because you are important to me and this work is important to me. Okay. So what needs releasing? Well, shit, we kind of got all that from the fucking shit that's coming up. Okay. So what needs releasing? We've got the 2 of emotions or the 2 of cups, and we've got the 7 of swords reversed. Give me a second here. So, a couple of things on this on this. I'm getting a couple of things. I'm just going to spout off what's coming to mind first. So I've got imposter syndrome with this 7 of swords. Look it up if you don't know what it is. I don't want to spend all the time getting into that, but it's like when we don't take credit for our accomplishments. We don't really believe, oh, we're that good when we really are that good. It's like the opposite of like being a narcissist. Like where narcissists have a grandiose sense of self and they take too much credit when they didn't do shit. This is the opposite of that. So there's imposter syndrome going on for some of you. You just not, and that plays into the solar plexus stuff we talked about last new moon. And then it goes into the full moon reading before. We're talking about a lot of real deep insecurities. So it's been progressing. So we're releasing imposter syndrome. I mean, there's some partnerships that need releasing. I do love readings. I'll do relationship readings one-on-one. I do that kind of stuff. But one thing that I'm never going to do is bullshit you when it comes to relationships. Like, I mean, if the cards say someone's cheating, I'm going to tell you. If they do. I mean, I'm not going to bullshit around. I'm not going to be like, sit here though and spend hours and hours and hours going, okay, yeah, this is your soulmate. Because here's the deal. We're water signs. I'm a Cancer. You're a Scorpio. We fall in love a lot. And soulmates are plenty. There are plenty of soulmates out there, and we will meet soulmates. And they serve a purpose in our life. And our friends can be our soulmates. Our friends can be soulmates. It doesn't have to be sexual. Although 5, with the vibration of 5, I have to admit, it's a very sensual vibration. And you're already a Scorpio. So, I mean, that is already in your repertoire of talents, skills. I was married to a Scorpio for 15 years. But some of you are in a relationship. That's this 2 of cups. This would be known as like a twin flame relationship. And twin flame relationships can be really super intense. They feel like you've known the person forever. And it gets entangled and enmeshed really quick. And they can go south quick or they can drag on. It's like this push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. And it's like no matter what you do, you can't seem to get that out of your head. There's many theories on twin flames and soulmates. There's many theories on it. I don't subscribe to some of the theories. If it's toxic, it's toxic. I don't give a crap if they're your twin flame or your soulmate. If it's toxic, it's toxic. You know if it's toxic. You know what healthy is. Look up narcissistic, look up trauma bonds. Because a lot of these, when I'm in these groups and I see these people doing readings and I see them talking about it, they sound a lot like a trauma bond. So look up trauma bonding, look up narcissistic love bombing. I mean, if that sounds familiar, they could potentially have been a soulmate or a twin flame. I mean, that could potentially be somebody you've been involved with in another life. You could be stuck in a pattern. Doesn't mean you're supposed to be with them forever. So for some of you, that's getting out of this relationship. For some of you, it's breaking this pattern. For some of you, it is looking and assessing the relationships in your life across the board. So 2 is a number of partnerships, and this could be business partnerships. So there could be some unhealthy dynamics within your business, with your business partnership, or a coworker, somebody that you work closely with. This is about internal balance as well, but I don't feel like that. I'm not getting that right now. I'm getting a lot of relationships, romantic, roommate, and work. But there's an overall kind of theme around relationships. It doesn't have to be a family member. It does not have to be a family member. No, it could be a roommate, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be a romantic relationship. This is just about partnerships. They're doing this dance. It's this pattern. And I was talking about this in another reading. So I have found a similar pattern in my relationships, I'm not like sleeping with everybody. And it varies a little bit, but generally, overall, at the core of it, it is a very similar pattern. What am I getting out of this exchange? And what am I giving into this exchange? So I feel like, you know, we're dealing with imposter syndrome here. We're dealing with Seven of Swords. Look at the foxes in here. Foxes are about, and again, we have more yellow. We have more solar plexus yellow stuff, sense of self, self-will, self-determination, self-confidence. This has come up a lot for Scorpios. New moon, and so far in this reading. Last reading, it came up a whole lot. So this is about imposter syndrome and self-deception. And it's like this is cognitive dissonance. And I'm going to get some more cards because I feel like not for everybody it's partnerships, but partnerships is a big thing. Partnerships and choices. With cups, it has to do with emotion. So it's like letting our emotions also get in the way of our choices. But I feel like there's a little bit more here. I feel like this is a big one. Really, I'm getting this on my stomach. Every time I'm dealing with you guys, the last like 3 readings, like my stomach starts bothering me when I'm on point with you guys. Like it starts bothering me. That's solar plexus stuff. Digestive issues. I don't know about any of you, but when you get stressed out, or you know, if you're fighting with your partner, or if you've had a bad day at work, like do you get like, you know, who's taken antacid or has to have regularly have anti-diarrheal? I mean, like that has to do with your solar plexus and your sense of self. I mean, and the vagal, look up vagal nerve, the vagal nerve and how it affects your stomach when you get stressed out. The vagal nerve goes all through the body, but like I'm a person that my vagal nerve affects my stomach when I really get triggered. People who gaslight trigger me like that. So that's a pattern in my life. Okay. Oh God. That was an angel. I hope I didn't lose my Archangel Raphael's head. I lost an arm from Uriel yesterday. Oh gosh. Well, an angel just jumped off my desk. So let me get more cards. She's probably like, shut up, get some more cards. We're going to use the modern witch. Okay. Can I get some more clarity on this Two of Cups? I can't even. Okay. Okay. First of all, these are the same cards. Seven of Voices, Seven of Swords. They both came out 2 different decks, both in reverse. I mean, like, I think, you know, that's what I was saying that Seven of Swords was about was imposter syndrome and some cognitive dissonance and some self-deception. On this particular deck, it's blocking, she's got the light at the end of the tunnel here. So, like, looking at the imagery and there, it's what's keeping them from moving forward into the light. And this is inner deception. Here's this deck. You can look at the imagery there. I'm going to do something just because it's come up twice. Like I'm going to pull up the little book, just a little book. Cause I like to, when it comes up twice, you know, I think that's important. You see the way that I deal. I didn't make that happen. God, one of y'all's stomach is really killing me. Whoever's stomach is hurting, just schedule a healing session with me, please, for the love of goddess. And then go to the doctor beforehand though. Oh, and you also got the World card in reverse. So this is a major arcana card. And I asked for clarification on this Two of Cups. So some of this has to do with, this is keeping you from moving forward. This is really keeping, so the World is about completion of a cycle and the integration of self and wholeness. And so this pattern, this continued pattern of choices in relationships is really keeping you from fulfilling, I mean, integration and healing and wholeness and, you know, and completing and moving forward. I'm going to get more clarification because, I mean, that's a big deal card to get. I mean, we're almost done. I mean, if it's there, so that means all we need to do is turn it around. I think that was a word we got last time too, that a lot of you were almost done. And then this Six of Swords, I don't remember if this came upside down or not, but this is about leaving this is about leaving a bad situation and heading into calmer waters. This is, so the card preceding this is they get into a fight. There's a sword fight that happens and they're all competing for someone's attention, for like to work for this night. They're competing. And the one that wins is looking, you know, looking back a little, kind of like, did I really, you know, he's kind of regretting winning, but also he won. And it's a card about kind of looking out for yourself, but at what cost? Sometimes you have to step, you know, you're stepping on some toes, and sometimes if you didn't do it like the best, but you know, not everyone walks away kind of like a loser, sort of, in that aspect. This is bad fighting. Bad fighting. 5 is your number. This is about leaving that bad situation. And like, I get, with this card, I always get like leaving an abusive relationship and then moving on. So you're leaving this abusive relationship and you're going to clearer waters. The pain is still with you, but you're going to go to a better place where you can then, you know, deal with it. You got it in reverse. It landed in reverse with the 7 of Swords in reverse. Again, we're not moving on to that healing place. And we're going to find out. Give me a second. Why do they write this stuff type it so small? What the hell are swords? Oh my God. Sometimes in life, we can't be completely open and honest. A little lie, even just one of omission, may be tactfully required in changing our situation. Maybe I mentioned a coworker. Maybe you're dealing with an awful coworker or an abusive relationship, and you need some secrets to keep to yourself to be safe. Just be careful that you're not hurting yourself or others, and it's truly the best way to deal with the situation. That's the meaning from one of the decks, and I think that goes with it. This is about relationship patterns here, and I'm gonna get the reading from this. I'm gonna go look at this really quick because breaking cognitive dissonance is super real and super hard. There's a lot of yellow and beiges. There's more yellow here. This, give me a second. Look, leaving these situations is super scary. An abusive boss, an abusive coworker, an abusive partner, I don't know, an unhealthy situation, because we don't know what's on the other side. But remember the 2 cards we got in the beginning, and some of you didn't join in, but I pulled the Starseed Oracle cards, and I'll put those in the comments at the end on Facebook because I'm going to put this on YouTube later. But one of them was about stepping into the unknown, even if you don't know what it is. And this was before we did any of this reading. So I feel like whatever the situation is, because, you know, there's a whole bunch of you out here, so I'm not going to hit everybody's situation. And that are going to watch it, you know, and who will watch it. But whatever the situation is, on the other side of it is the unknown. And in this card said it's scary, but this card was saying, you know, trust it, take a leap of faith, and walk to that unknown place. Go to that unknown place, because that's exactly where you're supposed to be, is in that unknown, to the unknown. So the familiar that you're in right now with regards to these situations is not where you're supposed to be anymore. And let's think about what's holding you back. What's keeping you where you're at? And whatever the situation is, work, family, love, roommate, volunteer situation. I can't think of whatever other fucking situation there be. What's keeping you in that situation? That you're not, I mean, you know, like why? Why are you staying there? When you've tried every other which way. What's keeping you from walking away? What's that fear about? You know what I mean? I'm going to see if there's any more to get out of that. Let me see what deck. Oh, I know what deck I can use. That's super clear. Is my numerology deck. Anything else we want to add to this for Scorpios? This pain that you guys... Okay. Anything else that you guys want to add here for Scorpios? Anything else? For some of you, it's a school, it's class, it's classes, school, teaching and learning. Classes, school, you're a teacher or you're in class. Oh my God. Got a whole bunch of yellow came up here. Moderation, perseverance, there's pride. I asked you what you were gaining out of it. Got more yellow for solar plexus. Communication, effort. It's going to require some effort, but teaching and learning. I mean, I'm going to hold these up because I feel like these colors are going to mean something to some of y'all. 4, 14, 12, that's 3, that's 6, that's 4, that's 20, that's 2. You have to dig, you're gonna have to dig deep to deal with what this is. You're gonna have to dig deep. This is, moderation came up over here with this Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, and then also with the Temperance card at the very beginning. I talked about the Temperance, the vibration 5. She's 14, and I brought that up at the beginning. It's so crazy how our pride will keep us in a situation that is harming us and making us fucking miserable because we don't want to admit we're wrong. But I feel like that's happening here. This communication and this effort is, I think something like this came up for you in the last reading. I'm almost certain of it. I mean, don't hold me to 100%, but I'm almost certain of it. And this is yellow again, and this is yellow-orange again. So this is sacral navel chakra, which is between the sacral and the solar plexus. This is about doing those affirmations for the solar plexus. That's what you're going to need to do to prepare for this move. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to say, look up solar plexus affirmations. And this is going to help with that, creating that safety and security that you need in that root chakra for yourself to feel safe enough to do whatever it is you need to do to move forward. Because fear is what's in the way. And that's going to take effort on your part, and you have to speak these things out loud. I literally look myself in the mirror. I have a mirror in front on my altar. I have a mirror where my altar is, where I do my work, where I do my meditation and my prayer and all my other stuff that I do. I have a mirror there, and so when I do my affirmations, I do look myself in the mirror. I make myself safe. I am my own. Those are root chakra ones, but a solar plexus one would be something like, because we got imposter syndrome came up. Right? So that has to do with not taking credit for like the things that I've done, the good that I contribute to the world, to my team at work, to my family unit, to my marriage, to my family. That's like not taking credit for the full contributions that I give. So a solar plexus one for that would be like, I know the skills that I bring to the table and they are valuable, or I bring valuable skills to my team at work. And I take credit for the work that I do. I bring value to my marriage through my contributions, and I take credit for it, and I deserve appreciation for what I do. That would be an affirmation. You know, I know what my strengths are. And if you don't, write them down and then read them out loud. That would be an affirmation. You know, I actually went through, like I got my resume out. Because my resume used to make me think, oh, you're making that shit up. And I didn't make any of it up. But I'd be like, I did that. And I would be like, these are my accomplishments. I did this work. You know what I mean? And that has to be done for you. Aw. I think there's a delay, but I get where you're feeling, Jenna. Do this work, and that's going to help you make the next steps. I mean, we're getting into now what do we need to do, and it's going to take perseverance. And this is green. This is heart stuff here. It's going to take some perseverance. Yeah, we're going to see what energies come in. We're going to leave that for there because, I mean, the cards I keep getting the same cards. And if I haven't touched on this, none of this, if we get to this reading and this doesn't resonate with you, go look up what your moon and your rising sign is and your north node, and then go check out that reading because maybe that's stronger in your chart. My north node is in Libra, and since I've been doing this shadow work, I follow Libra through astrology because that's the work that I'm doing. And I also follow Gemini a lot because I've been doing a lot of heart work. And my Venus is in Gemini. I've been doing a lot of healing around love. And so I follow, I seem to be following Gemini and often a lot. And that's because my Venus is in Gemini. So if it doesn't resonate with you, go check out the other readings. But go to Cafe Astrology. You need your birth time to know your rising and your moon and check out those readings. If you want more details, we can do one-on-one readings. Okay, so the energy that's coming in to assist you is the Fool. And that tells me that you are going to make it through this because what happens after, right now you've got the world upside down. What happens after this world turns right side up is this, it's time for the next journey. So this tells me with this energy coming in, it's going to help you deal with this issue. And the Fool is all about, the Fool's not an idiot. For those of you who are new to tarot, the Fool's not dumb. We're the Fool, and we travel, this number in here is 0. We are the Fool, and we travel through the major arcana. That's life. The major arcana and all of the minor arcana is our journey through life. And that's what the tarot is, our journey through life. Through swords, through our thoughts, and our heart, and our addict, and our logic. Through the cups, through our emotions. Through pentacles, through the material realm. And through wands, through our spiritual experience, through action. Okay, so we're the Fool, and we take this journey through the cards. So this is the energy that's coming in. The Fool is excited and innocent and looking forward to, the next step. Just ready to just tackle the next thing with excitement. And that energy is coming in. Look at that bright sun right there. The number is 0 for the Fool. 0 is the number of the divine, of spirit. So this is divine energy coming in to assist you. And that's fantastic. I mean, that's what's needed right now. I mean, that's how we get the breakthroughs that we get, is through that energy coming in. And if you look here on this card, that's really not a cliff. There's like a little piece of land. Well, my fingernail's blocking it, sorry. There's a little piece over here. So really, she knows that there's something good right over that edge. And that's the energy that's coming in to help you. Is a new beginning, divinely inspired, divinely guided, and it's being ushered in by the divine with the assistance of the divine. I don't need a card. I don't need to go there. So what new intentions do we need to set? We got the Muse of Inspiration, or the King of Wands, the Muse of Inspiration. We've got the Muse of Materials. And then we've got the 5 of Materials in reverse. So think about intentions and putting these together. So the King of Wands, for some of you, this is, we're dealing with starting this is business coming up. So the King of Wands is an entrepreneur. On top of the King of Materials, definitely is about money and business and abundance, prosperity. And the King of Wands, and the 5 of Pentacles is about lack of abundance, lack of prosperity, spiritual lack, material lack. A poverty mentality. It's about worth. It's about feeling like I don't deserve these things. Because remember, Pentacles are about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the base of it. And then this card, she's, laying down there. And she's not even seeing this light up here. So you got it in reverse. But it's also a card about finding hope, finding faith, and walking there, finding the light within, And so you got it in reverse. So that's a good thing. So we're releasing that poverty mentality, that spiritual lack. And we're finding the light within. And I feel like this does have to do with creating abundance in your life, because you've got the King of Wands and you've got the King of Pentacles. This is about just creating abundance and prosperity in all areas of your life. What does that look like for you on a level, on a bulleted out level? On both of these. She's walking on a bridge. There. Walking on a bridge. Here. Even in this one, there's a bridge through a doorway. And then on that 7 here, that imposter syndrome one, right? The one where we're self-deceived, we're dealing with cognitive dissonance. A doorway. We're walking off a cliff with this energy. And then we got that card at the beginning, Scorpio, about stepping into the unknown. What is your unknown? What is your unknown? Where have you been being led to step into? The Muse of the suit has mastered all of the lessons of Pentacles and of Wands. So Wands is about a spiritual experience. It is about action. It has to do with the solar plexus. It rules the solar plexus. It's the element of fire. And then Pentacles. It rules the material world. Everything you know, 5 senses. And the root chakra and the earth. These are both kings or muses. I'm going to call, sorry. So they're non-binary. They're muses. They have mastered these suits. Kings are doers. Kings are doers. The King of Wands especially is a delegator. King of Wands delegates tasks out to people and gets the King of Wands is someone who charms people and is charismatic and is confident and is confident in who they are as a person. And, you know, the Queen of Wands is who we are before this. The Queen of Wands is completely in touch with her shadow self, completely embraces her shadow self, and completely owns that shit. And so this is the next level, the muse. So this king is also in touch with their shadow self, fully embracing their shadow self, fully confident with a healed glowing solar plexus. In a business sense, I feel like I need to mention this. The King of Wands is an entrepreneur. And he has an entrepreneurial mind, but he doesn't do it all alone. He delegates things. But he's able to get people to do things for him because he just asks and they love him or her or them. Okay? This King of Pentacles. This is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. This is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. So if you know about astrology, think about those things too. So what are they? So what are new moon intentions? We're going to work on our self-confidence and that new moon intentions. What intentions are we adding? We're going to build our self-confidence. We're going to step out into that next new venture, whatever that is. Business, creativity, because Wands is about creativity too. We are going to learn to ask for help. We're going to learn to delegate things to other people because we can't do it all by ourselves. We're going to ask for help from people and they're going to say yes to us. They're going to say yes to us. Part of that temporary number for 5 for those of you who are business owners, with this is a really good time to like push your product and your service with this vibration. Also, it's a really good time for you Scorpios because people are just going to love you right now. Just going to love you. I mean, it could end up romantic, but you could also use that vibration to your advantage by getting people to do things for you, by being just so charming and being your amazing self. That's what the King of Wands would do. So you're going to believe you deserve things because this person doesn't believe that they deserve anything abundant in their life at all. But you had in reverse. So, and then this King of Pentacles is stable, structured. So we're going to build a structure. We're going to get a plan in place to do this. We're going to put a plan in place for whatever it is we got to do. So structure at home, structure with work, a plan for your business if it's a business. Whatever the next new thing is, we need a plan. We need practical plan. So the King of Pentacles is practical. So we need practicality in your life. We need some structure in your life. We need Taurus energy. We need Capricorn energy. Ambition. So we need some drive and ambition. What does that look like? We need some Virgo energy. They're super organized. Taurus are steady and focused and disciplined. When they get started on something, you know, they take care of it. We've got a starter with the Aries. We've got the doer with the Taurus. And we've got the finisher with that Capricorn. So this is about beginning and doing and finishing projects that have to do with work and home. And money, getting your finances in order. And that's a lot of things I'm talking about. But at the core of that is dealing with this sense of self and this deserving of it. Because that's what this 5 of Pentacles is about. She's releasing hope. And you're going to do that by taking these actions, even if you don't believe it. We're going to work on those affirmations. All that yellow we got. And we talked about this in the new moon video. We did. I don't remember exactly what they were. But Scorpios, we talked about some affirmations for building up the solar plexus. before we even did your reading. And then it came up during the reading, and it came up again in this reading with all this yellow. And you can look at the other readings I do. I focus on colors a lot. It's how I do a lot of what I do. I can get some more, but I don't really feel like I need to, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just because. Anything else we want to add to these new intentions for the month? Wait till you see the end result. You're going to be super pleased. Yeah, things are about to start happening really fucking fast for you. Really fucking fast. And we talked about, I don't remember. This part I don't remember. Shit, I don't remember if it was you, if it was the other person. Things were going to start happening. That's master number 11. But you did have the number 1182. So it's potential. And I thought about this. I wasn't really sure, but it's potential. If some of you are in this field of the esoteric on the metaphysical, you know, it's part of that vibrational number could be the 11. And if that number and that vibration resonates with you, the master number 11, then things are going to be happening super fast. And you got the 8 of Wands. And that's going to, and part of that vibration of the 11 is going to be, if you're saying high, otherwise you're going to be lower in that 2, where you're just still stuck in decision, you know, in choices and ideas. But if we want to raise the vibration and walk in that master number 11 of that 1182 angel number you got in the beginning, then we're going to need to make decisions. And that's going to require confidence. Okay, right here. And that's going to require going with the flow. There's not really time to think. So, you know, also part, I think what needs to be a part of this, and I don't remember if it was in the last reading, I have to admit, is making time to meditate and do your connection to whatever it is you connect to breathe and to connect mind. And we talked about that, mind to heart, and that happens during breathing. I don't remember if I taught you how to do that, but I will really quickly. And then we've got, I brought this card up in the very beginning. I said with your vibration being 5, a card that comes to mind is Temperance. That number's 14. And then we got the 2 of Pentacles as something that was going to come to the surface. And then we talked about the vibration 5, meaning that there was 2 paths you could take with Scorpio, with your vibration being 5 for the month: overindulgence on the material plane or growth on the mental plane. And so you got this in reverse. So, and then you got moderation. Where the hell did you get moderation? Right here. Again. So with this being in reverse, this tells me that one of your intentions needs to be focused on moderation and balance. And with this angel being here, that comes from a practice. And you can practice something like Buddhist meditation without having any spiritual beliefs at all. But there needs to be some kind of practice to centering ourselves, because balance, we don't have balance here. We need balance. We need to turn this around. So we got a lot of shit coming in. A lot of stuff's going to be happening, and a lot of choices are going to need to be made. Part of that master number 11 of that 1182 is situations are going to be coming up that in the past you've made decisions in these similar situations that have brought negative consequences, but you're being asked by spirit to get rid of that old way of behaving, that old way of reacting. And it's going to require some strength, like we got effort and strength, and that void card of being willing to step into the unknown. And that called, I think the called is when I said it. The void was about resting. Stepping into the unknown. So if we want to raise the vibration into that master number 11, where there is abundance, then yes, we need to work on those core issues, spending time in meditation, breathing. I always get breathing with this because of the air element that's so strong in here. They're flying through the air. So this is something that taught me to breathe. And I do 8 breaths because this is 8 wands. And 8 is one of your numbers, and your angel number 1182. 8 is a number of karma. Karma is king with the number 8. But 8 is also about assuming control and taking power that is mine. Remember we talked about taking our power back? Taking our power back, that solar plexus stuff. That's what that 8's about. Taking my power back. And so when I do my breathing, when I sit down to meditate and I get started, the first thing I do is I don't have to do this anymore, but when I got started, my spirit guide taught me to do it. And her name is Diodata. I don't know how spirit guides work. I don't know if my spirit guide would work with you, but you can borrow her if you want. I don't know how that works, but. So she taught me she said the only really constant in your life ever has been you, Deborah. And that's true. I mean, I've had partners, I've had friends. I mean, my gods have changed over the years. Sometimes I can't even feel it. You know what I mean? And she's like, really, what's the only constant you have? You. So she's like, you need to learn to anchor to yourself. So I picture something coming, like a door opening here. That's how I started out. A door opening in my third eye and a rope coming out with a hook on it. Then a door opening here, my heart chakra opening with a hook in there, like you would see on a boat or a truck or whatever. I'm from Tennessee. I mean, I'm Texas and Tennessee. What can I say? I think of pickup trucks or boats or hitches. So this string coming out and hooking in there. So on my breath in, when I do that big belly, I picture this coming out. On my breath out, I picture it hooking. And so when my spirit guide was teaching me to do it, as I was doing it, she'd be like, where's Deborah? Where's Deborah? And then I went on, and the exhales when I feel the connect. Okay, that's called anchoring to yourself. That is what, so I'll do 8 big breaths, and then I'll try to anchor. Well, now I can anchor to myself pretty much in one breath, but in the beginning, I do it. But I always do 8 breaths because I want to break karmic patterns, and I want to take back my power. And so, I mean, that's just why I do it. So I just felt like to share that with you. So those are your intentions. And then what's the result? What is the result, Scorpio? These were upright. Wait a minute. This was upside down. This was upright. But this is important because this is the fucking Chariot. I don't know if you know about tarot cards, but look what's glowing from her stomach. And I can read the book on this deck if you want me to. But this author's book literally talks about a glowing solar plexus. And what have we been talking about this whole time? I mean, your end result is self-control, self-discipline, being secure in who you are, knowing your soul's purpose, being proud of your accomplishments, all of the things we talked about with your solar plexus. That's what the Chariot's about. This is about balancing the light and the dark. So, you know, the shadow self and the self. I mean, they both make up the self. This is about, and then this is about moving forward. The Chariot drives forward through sheer self-control with the mind perfectly imbalanced. When one acts up, it gets it back in line. And it's driven from the solar plexus, from confidence and knowing who I am, knowing where I'm going, knowing what my purpose is, and you've got that. And then we've got the 7 of emotions in reverse, and the 7 of cups in reverse. The 7 of cups is about choices. It's about having lots of choices and being afraid to make choices. But we got it in reverse. I'm gonna look at this. I've got it here. I'm gonna look in the book for this, but I'm gonna show you the picture. I'm gonna show you it upright. You got it in reverse. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I struggle. The 7s really throw me off sometimes. I think it's the personal struggle in my own walk, but I've never actually seen this card in this deck before. It's not come up in any of my own readings, and I don't want to miss anything for you. But it is about choices, and it's about being afraid to make choices. So what I'm instinctively wanting to say is that because your solar plexus and your sense of self is that you will know what decision to make, and you won't be afraid to make those choices, even though you don't know what's in the cup. This is also about not knowing kind of like what's on the other side of that decision. So I feel like that's what's being said here too, but let me just take a look. Got one more reading to do after this. I'm learning how to do this and how much time it takes. A lot of readers will just like do really quick reading and then do the, like, I don't know, but I like doing it, so whatever. 7 of emotions. Choices, manifesting, ranking your options, alignment of values, illusions, fantasies, having many opportunities and seeing which are real, a collapse of choice into reality. Let's see. So some of the choices, it says the muse shines light down into the water to help clarify her choices. Some are bejeweled and tempting. Some are bewitched and triumphant. Some hide danger, and some are she's unable to see. All of these beautiful little fins glimmer softly, vying for her attention, and she is being asked to choose one for her future. Like her, you must decide which choice aligns with your truth and settle on it. Lean toward that which brings you grounded happiness and move from thinking into choosing and decide. You're going to be able to make the choices you need to make, and you're going to be able to do it confidently. And that's exciting. That's exciting. Oh, you're amazing. All right, Scorpio, some heavy stuff, but I know you can do the work and you've come a long way. And please go get your stomach checked out right here. It's really going on. I think it's gallstones, and gallstones you cannot manage on your own. You need to have some treatment for that. Like, I think it's surgery, honestly. But anyway, all right, so be looking in the, like, after Imbolc, which is Monday and Tuesday, so Wednesday, I'll be putting up something. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be just like a post or if I'm going to do a video or a combination of the two about releasing, some releasing ritual. I've had people ask me, like, well, what do you do with the releasing? And I actually go through like a little ritual that I do with releasing. And then I also thought I might work in some energy healing with that to teach you to do some energy healing for yourself to help with the process. Okay. Anyway, let me close it out with Namaste. The spirit in me recognizes, loves, adores, appreciates, values, and is connected to the spirit in you. As you work to free yourself, you help free me. And as I do my work, I do the same for you. And we help free the collective. So we are all connected and we are all energy. And so when I say I love you, I truly mean it. And your freedom is important to me. Okay. Well, have a good night and I will see you soon. I can't wait to hear about what you're doing and how your work is going. Have a good night, Scorpios.